Hey guys, Steve Arajo here with the Bass Hang. We are going to discuss this vintage Fender jazz bass I recently acquired, and it's a 1976 Fender jazz bass, and I just thought it would be kind of fun to talk about it, pull it apart, and just go through some details on a vintage jazz bass. 1976, kind of transition year for a couple of things. So they went from this old school logo in 76 to the logo with the letter S for 70s and then the number. So
the serial number
6
was located on the decal.
On the decal. So this is kind of nice. It's kind of a transition bass. So this still has the old school logo and the serial number on the neck plate. Mm-hmm. So kind of cool. And this one definitely has some parts that have been replaced. The strap buttons.
Strap locks.
Strap locks, yeah. So those were replaced. And then it looks like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the screws.
Those should be chrome.
Should be chrome, so they're not. So other than that, thinking it's pretty legit. So we're just going to kind of pull it apart and have some fun. Hang on. Oh, and by the way, original case. Kind of cool.
Beautiful orange lining.
So how difficult is it to get a vintage bass with its original case?
Difficult.
Yeah,
difficult.
Hard to find?
Yeah, the cases get separated.
All right. And it's in good condition.
People have these cases in the garage and they sell them for money.
What's another big, huge difference from 60s to 70s basses that you've seen?
Obviously, in the 60s, these were rosewood fingerboard as opposed to now in the 70s, which these were maple. Another thing that they changed in the 70s was
talking about the fingerboard. So this is the 60s.
That's a 68.
68.
Rosewood fingerboard, maple fingerboard. This is yeah. So yeah, from like mid 65, 66 is when they switched over to block inlays and binding, and then at some point in the 70s, I'm not actually, I don't really know exactly when the actual year was when they switched over to maple, but it was sometime in the 70s, 72 maybe.
Okay, I believe you. I'm gonna look it up though.
Yeah, people on YouTube can comment about that.
Yes, exactly. And then okay, so the other huge thing that I see and I feel on 70s basses is the amount of finish.
Yes.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you're talking just a huge amount, thick.
This was shot with poly or polyurethane, polyester resin, whereas those 60s jazz basses were shot with nitrocellulose lacquer, which is a much thinner finish.
And we're talking fretboard, we're talking neck, everything was shot.
A much thicker finish.
Okay.
And some guys like that, and some guys don't. Some guys will say that this thicker finish kind of constricts the tone.
Well, Marcus.
Of the bass. But then again, guys like Marcus Miller say, you know, I love that. It gives a bright quality to the sound. You know, I mean, but then again, it's also the perfect storm. It's this maple which gives a brighter tone, and then also we have the different pickup spacing. What's the
4-inch. So what they did, they used to have from center pole piece to pole piece in the 60s was 3.6 inches, and then in the 70s they actually moved the bridge pickup back closer to the bridge, so it's 4 inches. So from center pole piece to center pole piece is 4 inches. Now you hear that. Wow, that's killer, man. So cool. So how about pickup covers? You think these are legit?
Oh yeah.
They seem, huh?
Yeah.
So this used to have foam cover, right? To help
like
that
string
old
mute?
School muting kind of thing. Look at that.
The saddles in I believe in late '65 were changed. They used to have these threaded saddles.
Let's pull this sucker apart, man.
Okay.
Which you want to do the?
Let's start with the control cavity.
So CTS pots. That's like a huge little buzzword. Exactly what
They were
What
an electronics company that made parts. They
Okay.
actually made speakers as well.
Okay.
That I did not know, but if you look at old speakers and you see 137, it's the same date code that you'll see on the pots that you'll see on speakers.
So the first three numbers, 137 means it's CTS. The next number is the year, and then the week of year or something, right? So
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
So if you look on these pots here, you'll see that's a 250K pot A, which is an audio taper. 137.
CTS, meaning a CTS pot. Okay.
The next number is 76, 1976, and then 18th week of 1976. The 18 after that.
So those are legit pots.
Yeah.
And how about input jack? Look.
Looks perfect to me. It's cool. Switchcraft, and this is wired the proper way, where the ground, there's no ground connected to the actual jack because this thing. What do you call this?
Control plate?
The control
I
plate.
guess.
Is the actual ground surface.
Because they used to have the little wire, right, running from the bridge to the pickup.
That little copper, yeah.
Little copper wire. Cool. All right. And how's the routing? So the other thing with 80s or 70s jazz basses or 70s basses was sometimes the routing wasn't as crisp,
Not as perfect.
not as perfect. So this one looks actually pretty darn good, huh?
Looks like somebody shielded this with shielding paint. And they put some electrical tape in here to protect the jack, keep the jack from touching the shielding paint.
Cool. And then let's get that pickup cover off. All right, so what's that?
We have a route. Somebody had their way with this thing, obviously, with a battery route.
Oops, I was going to move that out.
So this probably at some point had some sort of EMG, maybe EMG pickups in it, or maybe a preamp. Who knows?
Something, huh?
You can tell it just from this little chip. This is an ash body.
Okay. And look at how thick that is, dude. That's like
It's
the
very
16th of an inch of
Yeah.
finish. That's crazy.
thick. Yeah.
Wow.
You can see that another interesting thing about this. Weird.
What do you see, Howard? What do you see?
It looks like they painted this thing white and then they painted it black.
Well, in the 70s, I think they used to do that. Whatever the color was, I think they used to have a couple of, and then they would just overspray.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because I had that 75 or 73. Remember that green with that one? It was black and then oversprayed Lake Placid blue.
Oh.
And they would just, I think that was one of the things that they would do. They would have a set number of colors, and then if they needed more of one that they didn't have, they would just shoot it. Regardless, they wouldn't strip it, and just, that's why it's probably so thick. So the other thing too is that little bullet truss rod. Is that what they called that?
Bullet truss rod because
They changed,
it looks
yeah.
like a bullet.
Yeah. So what was the big problem with that? The big caveat with that was stripping out, or what? Just
A lot of times guys would use an Allen key, and I'll tell this to everybody: if you're going to adjust your own truss rods on your instruments, get two sets of Allen keys.
Okay.
Get the standard, get the metric,
ah.
and because this will be one or the other. Always have the right size Allen key, because if it's slightly too small, you might be able to adjust it, but eventually you will strip this little nut. You should come around and get a
We'll do this.
close-up shot of that.
So the bullet truss rod. Right there. So were these usually standard, American standard? They were not metric, right?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Actually, we can find out, but you got to have the right size, because if you strip that thing out, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
So does this look like original nut? I mean, the finish looks all pretty...
Yeah, you can tell that, the nut was installed and the frets were installed, and then they sprayed the finish over the frets.
You can feel a little bit of the... That's just from years of the wood kind of settling? Is that what it is?
The finish will shrink.
Okay.
You can definitely feel that. You can see that the finish kind of comes up around. All right, pull out the cover.
So here we go.
Oh! Interesting. Somebody put their own pickup foam in there.
Huh.
This is the proper pickup.
It is. Nice.
That's original pickup. But
Wow.
somebody had swapped the wires out to cloth wire, which they did not do.
So what kind of wire did they use back then?
They used just regular plastic coated.
Like, do you have an example of it? Oh,
This
like
would be an example of the wire, of the original style wire.
So this pickup is a 76. These are 76 pickups, correct?
Correct.
So they look pretty legit, huh? I mean, they look.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
See if we can get this cover off. Yep. Look at
Nice. Wow.
that. It's enamel coated wire.
Yeah.
So somebody at some point
It's like that.
put
basically.
cloth wire in there.
Huh.
You can unsolder, you just unsolder the
Mm-hmm.
the wires. And
Any
solder them.
advantage, cloth to wire? No? Or cloth to, I'm sorry, plastic?
I don't think so.
No.
And the only advantage with that, it might make you feel better.
And the route looks pretty nice.
Not bad.
I mean, it's not bad for a 70s.
These routes were so big and loose compared to the 60s.
Even the neck pocket I'm noticing has a little gappy here. I mean, not on the sides, but a little gappy at the bottom, huh?
Yeah.
But are you more concerned with the gap here, or I mean, you want it to fit as tight everywhere?
Well, on old basses, like on these 70s basses, I think it's okay if there's a little bit of space, because sometimes the bridge won't be put in the right spot.
Okay.
So that you can actually kind of move the neck from side to side, so you can get the right
And are you also
string spacing.
And you're also probably dealing with some wood drying, some wood and
Expansion,
being
contraction,
wood.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see. So this is
Once
the
again-
bridge pickup
Yeah.
and their own foam.
Somebody put foam in there.
I kind of like that. I kind of like the foam so that it's a little
foam?
pliable. Yeah.
It's bonus foam.
So this one has the same. Oh, okay, the cloth, huh?
Cloth wire.
Trippy.
But look,
Oh, and it has a little stamp.
it's got a stamp.
What is that one? Oh, where's the?
This stamp has, I can't read what that says anymore because my eyes are
This
numb.
one says like 13 something 76. Is this legit Pickguard? You think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't.
Any way to tell? Or
What tells me this Pickguard is original too is that these screw holes, even the
Yeah.
thumb rest screws, they line up perfectly.
cool.
Aftermarket Pickguards, nothing ever
Really?
lines up. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about that crack. Look at this little crack here, crack here. We're screwed in.
Yeah.
The big one is, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just like all the way through here. Trippy, huh? So explain to me this. I've always tripped out. Okay, so they went to the 3-bolt
Yeah.
neck plate, and that was in 70. I mean,
I don't know what year they actually
whatever
switched
year
over
that
to
was.
that.
Micro tilt.
Correct.
What the hell? I never got it. I don't get it.
There's a little screw in there, and it allows you to tilt the neck forward or back to compensate for neck angle, to get the proper neck angle, so that,
Okay.
because if there's not enough neck angle, sometimes these saddles, you would have to raise them up too high,
Okay.
or you'd have to put them too low. And the strings would either be too high or too low. So this was to compensate for the neck angle.
So it was obviously a short-lived
was a quick-
experiment. It was a quick.
It's a quick fix.
Okay. But it never really took on. I mean, you would think that if it was.
A lot of guys poo-pooed the 3-neck system. A lot of guys converted their guitars and basses to 4 bolts, thinking that would be
Better connection,
a better connection.
Okay.
See this? They use this weird threaded screw.
Oh, wow. I never knew that. Yeah. Wow. So it has an insert in here?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. That's been on there for a while, huh?
Yeah, that's good and funky.
I like that.
Okay, let's be careful getting this off. Right?
Yeah.
You have to be.
All right. All right, what do we got? Looks like someone's doing a lot of cleaning up. Yeah, you see, this is how the neck would bolt into here. Or no, I'm
Neck
sorry.
bolts in, yeah.
They have this insert here, and the neck screw bolt would bolt into that and to secure it.
I mean, and you can tell. Okay, so that's kind of cool. That finish came off of that,
Yeah.
and it was white.
Yeah, I can see.
You can see the white right there.
Would
And
that have been
this-
Olympic white?
Holy white, huh? And then it looks like they oversprayed it because here's the little seal, the Fender seal, but then it has this overspray.
But this is actually something I was just reading about. It's like an 8 number, and this will give you the model and the year to the actual day that it was made if you know how to decode those.
Hard to read what that is. Yeah. X or an X Armenia? I don't know.
Yeah,
Huh.
looks like an X.
It's tough.
X Armenia.
A lot of people didn't like this this neck tilt system.
Yeah. Well, this one, I mean, it looks like it's not even into play here. It's just,
Yeah.
but which is nice because it does actually play nice the way it is. So and then the little skunk stripe.
Skunk stripe, walnut skunk stripe. Some guys say that this was koa. I think it's walnut.
Okay. And that's just end of the truss rod. And,
Truss rod,
yeah.
anchor. Yeah. It's a good neck. Thick finish though, man.
Yeah.
Thick finish.
Well, you can, I mean, that's the original finish, the white, and that came off from there. It's pretty trippy.
Love it. I could look at this. I could look at this all day.
Pretty rad.
All right, we're gonna put this neck pocket back on.
All right.
Nice. It's a nice fit. There's a little bit of
Play, yeah.
A little bit of play, which is fine. This is a great bass. I like this bass a lot.
Yeah.
It's a great example of this era of jazz bass. It's another thing you don't want to. You want these screws tight, but you don't need them to be super cranked.
Cool logo, man.
Yeah. This is my favorite logo.
Yeah.
It's when they changed these. I think the actual jazz bass font was, much smaller.
Okay. Sounding top to bottom, man. It yeah, wow. Cool. Well, this sounds mean, man. This has been Steve Arajo with Galaura on camera, Howard Ulyate, and Doug Koeppen. And yeah, man, thanks guys for hanging and dismantling. And actually, it was fun. I learned a lot, so it was very, very cool. So for the bass hang, see ya.
I'm not gonna know what to play now.
I see nothing wrong with this thing. Why can't you take this to your gig and play?
Does it need some?
I can't play right now. Fingers are all.
Really?
Both pickups up.
Yeah, I think it's it might be wired. That's both of them up, right?
Yeah.
I think it's what is it? Out of phase or out of like something's up with the wiring.
Yeah, those pickups are out of phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I heard earlier too. You did.
It sounds better to me. It really does.
It's got nice edge. I could just put it in my main bass. Because that's a pretty awesome sound.
Come for the bases, stay for the cookies. Look at that.
Good pumpkin-y comfort.
I can't say I've ever had a pumpkin.
I'm thinking about it. I indulged in a donut on the way over here. So I'm like feeling all sugared out.
That is a good cookie.
Absolutely.